Hello everybody and welcome to Iain's Bricks, and hello everybody and welcome to Iain's Bricks. My name is Iain. So I'm outside this place here. It's called the Genesis Centre, and it's a place called in Lox Heath. Welcome to a rather pleasant but a little bit cloudy Sandown Park. So I'm outside the MK Dons Stadium in Milton Keynes. So I'm outside the Westcroft Leisure Centre. So this is near a place called Croydon. So I'm outside the Hutton Moor Leisure Centre. This is in Weston-super-Mare. As you can see, I'm outside the London Leicester Square Lego store. So I'm outside the Places Leisure Centre in Eastleigh. So today I'm in beautiful sunny Bournemouth. She allow you to either pick the items up at the auction house or they let you go to they go to toy fairs and things like that, and basically they Right.
Welcome to Snoop Love Bricks. Right, this is it. Iain has granted me the opportunity to interview him for my channel. If you haven't or don't know anything about Iain, please check out his YouTube channel. This will be part 1 of 3. They'll be coming out every other week. So without further ado, let's get to it. Hi, welcome to Snoop Love Bricks. Today we've got Iain from Iain's Bricks.
Hello.
I'm going to ask him some probing questions that you'd probably be thinking of wanting to know about the great man himself. First of all, let's start off. Where were you born?
So I'm originally from Newcastle upon Tyne, hence the northern accent. My parents actually still live in the northeast, but I moved away a long time ago. But I went to all the local schools, spent all of my childhood and youth in Newcastle, and I suppose that's where my Lego hobby first started, because there was a fantastic department store in Newcastle, which is called Phoenix. There are some Phoenix around in other places as well, but it was the place to go for childhood toys. And of course, whenever you used to go into Phoenix, I always wanted Lego, so it was always my favourite childhood toy.
So why'd you come down to the south then?
Oh, it's just various things through work and relationships and things like that, and I've just ended up living where I live now on the south coast. Not a wanted man, no.
You never know. So why Lego?
Yeah, so as I say, it was just something that I got into as a child. I think probably the first Lego set I ever got wasn't even something that I wanted. It was one of those Christmas presents that you sort of get as a child, how old would I have been? Probably about 6 or 7 years old. Right. And it was one of those sort of... I remember the set number, it was set 911. It was one of them with those sort of weird minifigures before proper minifigures came out. And it was mostly blue Lego, and I loved that set. I played with it so much. It was really, really fantastic. Yeah. And that's sort of what got me into Lego. And then I started to buy a lot of the smaller towns, Lego Town as it was called then, the little vehicles. I remember getting the snack bar back in the late 70s, and it just grew from there.
Like little it was a lollipop.
It had 2 little printed lollipop signs on there. Yeah, it had snack bar written on the top as well. And and it just sort of grew from there. So as I got into my sort of 9-10 years old, I started to buy a lot of the town stuff, because obviously minifigures had come out by then, by 1978-79, and I used to love the buildings. I used to do houses and cottages and things like that. And by the time I was sort of 10, 11, 12, I had luckily we had a fairly big house, and we had a spare room, as it were, and I was allowed to lay all my Lego out with all the road plates and all the buildings, and I used to create all these fantastic sort of town sort of dioramas, as it were, and that was just kind of my thing. So I was always more into town than I was with other stuff. I know a lot of people like space and stuff like that, but yeah, town was my thing really. Right. And I suppose like any child, you just sort of grow out of Lego. I did a few of the train sets, the sort of 80s train sets. And then when you sort of get into your teenage years, I suppose you just grow out of Lego, because at the time Lego really was just a child's toy, and even the Technic stuff had sort of age up to the age of 16. So once you were 16, you weren't sort of deemed fit to play with Lego anymore. So
that's why I've changed to 99 now.
Yeah, exactly. 99. Yeah. So it was just a case of. You just grow out of Lego, I suppose most people do, really. But yeah, that's how it all started as a child. Got my first Lego set, and I was pretty much hooked after that.
Right, so what is your favourite set of all time? What would you say is your
Oh
favourite
my
set?
goodness me, that is a tough one. I think probably for me it's going to be the Green Grocer, the modular building, and that is purely because that's really what got me majorly back into Lego and also into the investing side of things as well. And I think because it was one of the early modular buildings, it was the first sort of big Lego purchase I'd ever done. I'd bought a few little bits of Lego here and there over the years, but not a lot of stuff. And at the time there, I think we were around £100. So, you know, even back in 2009, I think, when I bought it, that's still quite a lot of money to pay for Lego at that particular time. I know it's gone full, you know, major sort of price hikes nowadays with some of the larger sets. But yeah, it was just one of my sort of first sets. I think from my childhood days, from my sort of really old Lego, and I don't have any of my old Lego anymore, unfortunately. I decided to sell it on eBay back in the early 2000s, so it's all gone now. Probably set 376, which was the house and garden, one of the early it's like a red house with a blue roof, and it came in two halves and it would fold together as well. I love the fact that it folded together, and it was such a sort of a novelty. And
I think the Lego I don't know, maybe people won't like me saying, I feel the Lego was better back then.
It was a lot more simple.
Yeah.
And it was a lot more basic, but they even then came up with some great ideas of things you could do with Lego, even the limited pieces that they had. So
it was more for the imagination back nowadays, wasn't it? You know, nowadays it's already planned out. The TV looks like a TV.
Yes.
With a sticker. Back then it was a little black bit of thing, or you'd make your own.
But they had on the back of the box as well. I mean, people can remember this, but they actually had on the back of the boxes different building ideas that you could build with those pieces from the set. They don't really do that anymore. You've literally got the model that you're building, and that's kind of it.
Yeah.
Whereas back in the day, it was very much seen as a, you know, once you build the main set, that's great, but you know, this is what else you can do with a Lego. Yeah. So yeah.
Right. Worst set. What do you think the worst set is out there? As in your personal opinion. So if you was out there saying anyone else, a collector, player, what is the worst set you think Lego's ever designed?
So it's a set that I don't have and I don't own, but there was a Jack Stone set which has got like a hand glider. I must try and maybe get my hands on one of those because I don't think they're particularly expensive to pick up. But it's not even Lego. There's about 3 Lego bricks in it. There's the Jack Stone figures, which aren't very nice anyway, but just got this piece of card or something which is a hand glider. Yeah. I think that's fairly well known as one of the worst Lego sets that they've ever done.
I didn't know that.
As to maybe sets I've owned myself, I bought one of the Eternal sets a couple of years ago, and I can't remember the set number, but it was this sort of awful thing with lots of spikes on it, and it came with 2 nice minifigures actually, just a small set for about £9, but that was pretty awful. Again, it just didn't really feel like Lego, and it was very flimsy, and it was just pretty bad.
Okay. So for you, I say we've gone through worst. What's the best theme and sets you've seen? Sets you've never bought. You know, you were saying a Holy Grail set for yourself.
Yeah. Oh goodness me. See, I like all the modular buildings. Modular buildings are my thing. I have to say, I've probably eased off modular buildings a little bit. I think the early ones for me were the special ones. I have got all of the early ones. Is there a set that I don't own?
If I gave you,
if I had
£10 in your pocket. Which set?
Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! To keep. I'll just have a think about this because it's going to take me a while because I can't think of anything.
You've got to ask the probing questions.
Yeah. What did I miss out on?
There is some out there that I've missed out on, and I thought, I wish I bought that.
Oh, you know the one for me? I think the one that I missed out on and didn't have at the time, and it was the monorail set.
Oh, right.
Again, going back sort of more to the older days and things like that.
One, or there's 2, wasn't
No, there was the town one. It was called the airport shuttle, I think, if I'm correct. From about 1990. Again, it was because I'd sort of past that age where I was too old to buy Lego then. I was 21 years old, so you know, too old to buy Lego. Yeah, that's probably the one set that I would love to have in a pristine box, because you get them second hand and they're horrible, all faded and this, that and the other. So yeah, I think for me, the airport shuttle from about 1990.
We're going to probe some questions here.
Okay.
Lego is, obviously everyone loves Lego, and you see a lot of people on YouTube loving Lego. Not always me, I would say. I'm trying and be 50-50, but Lego, worst set. What's the worst theme? The worst theme that Lego is starting to do, which you would like to change? If you had a chance of telling Lego what to do.
I think Lego... There's a lot of bad themes out there. I think some of the themes that they do, like I never liked Chima, for example. Again, it's not aimed at me. No. And even now, Ninjago, I know a lot of people love it, and I think it's more of a kids thing than an adults thing. But I just don't get it. Okay. It's not my thing. You'll never probably see me ever buying Ninjago. But one thing that annoys me a little bit with Lego is they're always trying to do things with technology. And they never work. No. Hidden Side is a great example. Some of the Hidden Side sets looked really, really nice. They got the box art completely wrong. They sort of had these weird pictures on the front of them with not really the set. And then the app, it just never worked for people. And then they sort of went into Mario, and it's just like... The Mario thing, you've probably seen, I've never even bought any Mario sets, apart from the bigger ones, like the question mark block, which I actually love, and the NES. So the bigger sets I really like, but the actual Mario play sets, I just knew straight away that this is going to be... And they did overkill. They had so many sets. And then it's literally, you've got this little Mario that you bounce around on these little QR codes and get some more points. Oh, I've got some more points now. And it's just... There's no point to it. I just don't. And look, I know it's not aimed at me. I know it's aimed at kids and not at me. But yeah, they do always keep trying to flog away Lego at doing new things with technology. I get why they do that, because they're trying to keep up with the times. But I think even they realise that bricks and mortar, it is what it is. And they keep trying these things. And whether it's Dimensions or Hidden Side or Mario, which will eventually disappear, they do these things. They last a couple of years. They plough loads of money into it. And ultimately, it just doesn't work and doesn't fail, because technology moves on so quickly now as well.
Yeah, well, I agree 100% what you said. Right, why did you start YouTube? Why did you sit there and think, right, I want to be a YouTuber?
I obviously, like a lot of people, watch a lot of YouTube, and I'd been watching quite a lot of people doing unboxings. And at the time, I was buying a little bit of Lego for investment. I used to buy stuff for myself. I used to buy stuff to sort of keep for a couple of years and potentially sell on. And I thought, well, why don't I give this a go? And it literally was in lockdown. One of those. I was still working full time from home at the time. But I used to get all these deliveries at the door, and I think, well, why don't I start, doing unboxings? And that's kind of how it started, really. I never expected it to become. I didn't know where the channel was going to go. I thought I'll do a few unboxings and see where it goes. I tried a few builds, a few reviews. They didn't quite work. And I just I'd started talking about buying stuff, and then of course I'm buying this for Lego investment, and that's kind of how I started talking about doing.
When you said you did the original review,
yeah,
is that what you would have rather have done? I know, because with YouTube, it sort of governs. You can do a video and it can go mental.
Yes.
And you think, you can do the same video and it stays there. Like Lego haul videos always do quite well.
Yes, they do. Channel. Yeah.
But if you had full reign and you could do any specific video you would like to, and you wouldn't worry about the hits. What would you rather? I
quite like doing reviews, but they're quite time consuming as well. I quite like to watch a lot of people that do speed builds and time lapses and things like that. And I think where that comes from, I think back in, it was the modular building, and it was the shop, the Grand Emporium. Get the name of it now. And at the time, I was living in Chesterfield, and I was aware that this new Grand Emporium modular building was coming out. And for whatever reason, my nearest Lego store at the time, because there weren't many Lego stores around, was Milton Keynes. And I read somewhere, or I heard somewhere, that they had some of these, and they'd actually got them before it was officially released. And I phoned the store up. and I got them to hold one for me. I went all the way down to Milton Keynes, just like an hour and 45-minute drive away. Got this set, got home that day. I think I'd gone in the morning, got home, got my setup all done, and literally I had this old camcorder, did a time lapse of this particular video, and it was a really rubbish one. I mean, technology's come a long way since then. All I was doing was filmed me, and I was taking like a quarter of a second every 5 or 10 seconds. So it was doing this sort of time lapse thing. And I did this video, and I hadn't got a YouTube channel at the time, and I can't remember. I did post it. I know I did post it to YouTube. I had another YouTube channel at the time, and somebody latched onto it from a website called Eurobricks, which was a website I used to go on quite a lot in the day, but not so much these days. And somebody posted a link, and suddenly this video got 10,000 views. Of course, I wasn't monetized or anything like that on YouTube at the time, and I was so my mind when I started the YouTube channel, I know I digressed a little bit there, but it kind of went back to that video where I'd done this time lapse, and I thought, well, I'll do unboxings and maybe I'll do other review videos as well, because that one was quite successful. I think it was only successful because I'd got a set early, and literally the 10,000 views came in the first few days. About like a week later, the set was released, and then there was no more interest in that. But that sort of got me thinking, oh, maybe I could do a YouTube channel where I could get videos with 10,000 viewers and take it from there. So the idea was really that there were no ideas. It was literally just do an unboxing, maybe try a review, maybe do this, maybe do that, try a few things out, see what works, see what doesn't work. And I would like to probably still do more reviews of stuff. I probably feel as though I should, because I don't feel as though I build as much Lego as I probably should. But I think there are people out there that do a lot better reviews than I probably ever could. And they just tend not to be that popular, and they're quite time consuming for what they actually are. And sometimes I do a review and I just don't quite like the results. People seem to like the videos, but I just doesn't quite work for me. And you find your niche, you find out what you're good at, what you like doing as well. So I think I've gone off doing reviews now just because they don't really I'm probably there are other people that can do them better than I can, basically.
It's what you feel. There we go. It seems my question's a bit all over the place, but it's just when you say stuff, it always reminds me of stuff. When you said you wish, obviously you owned certain sets. Which set did you wish you missed out on? You wish you missed to buy to sell? That sometimes you just think, oh, I was going to buy that set. But for me, like I had a friend and I bought fishing sacks to buy for my friend.
Yes, yeah.
And I wanted the set, and unfortunately my mum died, and I just went off Lego and thought to buy it, and I said, I really wish I bought that. And that's the set I always regret not buying for investment purposes and for myself. Yeah. And it's just one of those, I see it there and I think, it's 200-300 quid now. I thought, I had it, I bought one and I gave it to a friend to say thank you for helping me out, and then suddenly, boom, it's worth money. So is that one that you think I was almost bought it, picked up?
Yeah, so I did get one of those, one of the old fishing stores, and I did end up selling it on. That was one of my early brick festivals as well. And another one that was similar where I bought one of was the Wall-E set. Another idea. Ideas are great. I think some of the earlier ideas were better than some of the things they're doing now.
Because I had loads of Wallies. I got them really early. I had 15 of them.
Because they weren't particularly expensive at the time. But I, in fact, someone literally asked me the same question yesterday, and they said, which set would you have liked to build? And I said the Wall-E set, because I never actually got to build it myself. And this is the thing sometimes with the investing side. You keep these sets, and I love getting them in nice pristine boxes and keeping them pristine boxes, but ultimately you're selling those sets on without probably ever building them. And that's probably one set that I probably would have liked to have opened and built and bought a few more.
I had a chance. I had it in my hand, the Ghost, the original Ghost.
Oh, really?
God knows how much it used to be. I had it in my hand, and it was, at the time, it was between that and the other small Phantom. I think it was a small one. And I thought, I haven't really got enough cash on me. And I thought, I'll just buy the little Phantom. I'll go and get the Ghosts another day. I never picked it up. Yeah,
and I think the thing is with Lego is don't regret it too much. There are things you're going to miss out. You're not going to be able to get everything, and especially now because Lego do so many sets, and they keep redoing sets as well. And I think because they've got a lot more pieces and bits now, I think quite often when they redo a set, Normally they will probably do it better than they did in the past because there's more variety of pieces and sets and things. Not always. I think some new sets that they do aren't as good as the old ones. But yeah, they'll probably come around. But something like Wally, would they ever do that again? Probably not. I think if they, we'll who knows. They've done the Brickhead. The Brickhead was quite nice.
Touched on what you've missed.
Yes.
Is there a set you've bought and you think, oh my god, I've lost money. Why have I bought that?
Yeah, all the time. You just think that's a nice set. I like this set. Well, the people are like this set, and you buy it.
So do you buy? So the ones you're regretting, do you buy with your heart rather than your head? Is that?
Yeah, I think so. But you're gonna get that. You're never gonna get every single thing right, and that's part of the whole journey with Lego investing. You're never gonna get.
Because I remember you saying on a recent video, you wish you bought more of the Friends apartments.
The apartments, because everybody does, don't they? Because they're going up in value now. But that's not really the point sometimes. But I don't really regret buying these sets. You buy them, and if they don't go up in value, you're just like, okay, well, I'll sell them on if I can break even on them. That's great.
On your site, like an online, I always read your comments. Like an online joke was the wind turbine.
Oh yeah, the Vestas winner. Well, I've got another one of those to sell. I still made money on that, and that is not really that much of a joke. But
you still got it.
But there was almost a joke about the Green Grocer sets because I had quite a lot of Green Grocer sets, and I was taking them to these brick fairs and brick festivals. Yes, putting on a high price, but people just weren't buying, and I think part of that was because it was such a high price, and people were saying, "Oh, I'd love that set, but I can't. I'm not going to spend £1,200, £1,400 on it."
So that's how you got into the investing.
Yeah, I bought quite a few. Yeah.
And did you buy them because you knew they were going to go up?
Yes. Okay. So what had happened was the Cafe Corner was the first modular building to come out. The first one that I bought was back in 2009 was the Green Grocer. Mm-hmm. So the Green Grocer was the third modular building that came out after Cafe Corner and Market Street, which was kind of the factory set, but it was kind of a modular building. Yes. But I bought the Green Grocer first and built it. And then I went back and bought the Cafe Corner and the Market Street. So I got one of each of those, which I built both of them. And then they both retired. So while the Green Grocer was still on shelves and they bought out the fire station, the first two sets had retired. And I looked on eBay thinking, they've gone up in value rather a lot. And that's why I bought quite a few of the Green Grocer sets. And that's how I got into it. So I'd seen the Cafe Corner do well and thought, there's something in this. I'll buy one of these and sell them on later on. And that's why I bought I think I bought 10 or 11 of the Green Grocer sets, yeah.
How did you learn to invest? Obviously, I've done on my site how to invest and people back then. Obviously, you've done it a few years ago. It wasn't so widely. No, it literally was just on a whim, really. On the basis of the Cafe Corner had done well. I'll buy some Green Grocers. I hadn't really. I suppose the idea would be to sell them at the time on eBay. And as time sort of went on, I had these sets for a few years. I did sell a couple on eBay, and they did okay. But I was never a fan of the post and packing and things like that. And I thought, and I did actually think, wouldn't it be good to sell these at toy fairs? And again, probably just luck in the fact that a lot of these brick festivals and brick events started to come out probably in the 2019s, 2020-ish. That was a time when a lot of my Lego, I'd been buying quite a lot of it. And said, well, my mum used to say to me, well, it's all right buying all this Lego all the time. When are you ever going to sell any of it? Oh, I didn't really like doing the eBay. So luckily these brick fairs came up at the right time for me. And that's how I like. So is that why you don't do on eBay? Because you don't like the faff of.
It's still a lot of reasons. Yeah, yeah. Have you got an online shop? Do you sell on eBay? No, is the answer. The reason I don't sell on eBay now, I have sold a lot of Lego on eBay in the past. A lot of my childhood Lego was all sold on eBay when eBay was a lot more of a new thing. I think the problem now is because I like pristine boxes. You've got to rely on the boxes getting there in mint condition. And also there are quite a few people that try and scam you out of things, and I don't like that kind of thing. It's always going to happen. Yeah. And I know a lot of people will use eBay and it's absolutely fine, but and I think the thing for me, it's mostly just the time and the post and packing, having to take things to the post office. I know nowadays you can get things picked up, but when I first started all of this, that wasn't really available. having to queue in the post office with all the old grannies getting their pensions, and oh goodness, when you're trying to do a 9 to 5 job as well, you haven't got time to go to the post office and stand in a queue with everybody else. And I just hate the packing up. It takes ages. I recently did a Whatnot stream earlier on this year where I did minifigures and stuff. And even that was a real pain for me. I hated every minute of the post and packing experience.
I think you'd like it when you do you pack all.
I'm quite meticulous, and that's the thing. And I think that's probably the problem, is I'm too meticulous with it, and it takes me so long. And look, I know when I do these brick fairs that it takes a long time to get everything done, and I even spend time wrapping things in plastic. That's just me.
I put hats up to you because when we watch the videos, and we see you put those baggies over there.
It takes ages to do.
People don't realise if you got paid per minute.
I'm on like two pence an hour or something. So no, I know the irony is that I do spend a lot of time doing this, but you're doing it all for one show, and I actually get a lot of enjoyment of going to these shows and interacting with people. I quite like serving people, and not just because of the YouTube thing and people start recognising me now, but a lot of people. It's just like having your own little shop, isn't it? It's just kind of my thing, I suppose.
What when you were a kid, everyone wanted a shop.
Exactly. So I do try and avoid eBay, and the reason I don't have an online store is that just the time it would take. I haven't got time to have an online shop, to keep the website up to date, and then of course you're still having to post and pack things out again. So another reason why I don't do that.
YouTubers, apart from myself, which YouTubers sites do you like to watch and use?
Yeah, so I think probably some more so in the past is I watched a lot of Brixie and Jang Bricks. I think Jang Bricks does very, very good reviews, and even now, if there's a new set comes out, I know that Jang will have a review of that with an in-depth review of how it all goes, and that's great. And I will still watch those. Brixie I do watch a little bit. He's doing a lot of like where he's got his warehouse and stuff at the moment, so I probably don't watch as much as I used to. I like a lot of the British YouTubers as well, and there's a lot of new people coming out. Obviously, I watch Fred from Hillian's Bricks again. He's doing less videos at the moment, but he did a video yesterday which I watched, and so I like to sort of keep up to.
What content do you like watching?
I like unboxings. I like people going to different Lego stores, for example. I know in the States you've got Emma Saurus, and she goes to lots of different things and stores in America and stuff like that. I mean, I dip in and out of her channel, really. Depends what she's doing. I don't know really, anything sort of Lego-y. I do watch other people's unboxings as well. And what else do I just sort of... And sometimes it's just a video that will just catch my eyes. I watched a few other Lego investing channels as well. All of them tend to be American, and it tends to be they've got a different market over there in America, and they talk a little bit differently. What I don't like with some of the American YouTubers, and apologies if there are any watching, is it tends to sound, and I think it's probably just a British American thing, where it all starts sounding a bit boastful. Where I've got 1,000 of these, and I've got 200 of these. And I make loads of money on this. It's whatever.
And do you know what I've got to say, mate? Hopefully I don't offend anyone. It's the S on the end of Legos.
Legos. Oh, what?
Biggest
isn't it?
Red ball for me, and I'm like,
I hate it.
Lego itself, it's multiple of Lego is Lego.
Yeah.
We have Lego sets, we have Lego bricks.
Unless it's something belonging to the Lego group, I will use Lego apostrophe S if it's Legos something. That
belongs to Legos.
But Legos, I hate that. So don't use it. Never use Legos.
I always put a comment. I said it was good until you put S on the end, and it makes them don't seem like they're educated. I'm not being horrible.
No, I know.
Because if you're into Lego, you know that there is no S on Legos. You watch it. If you ask anything about it, if you know the world of Lego, there is no S on the end. So when you're doing a Lego channel, it makes you feel like you don't know about Lego, don't it? For me, it does.
It can be a bit like that.
So I apologise, everyone's going to start turning off now.
No, probably. No, we've all got things that we like and we don't like, and I'm sure people watch my videos and don't like some of the things that I do. But I try and cover all the bases, and I think, especially with the investing side of things, is I do try to be honest, and I will actually say, oh yes, I've done really well on this. I bought a couple of these and I made loads of money on them, but on the other side, I think I bought 10 of these and they've been hopeless, and I've sold them on at like no profit at all. And you know, if I go to a brick fair that's successful, I'll say it's been successful. But if it's not been so good, then I'll be honest about it. I think people have said in the comments that they like my honesty about, I don't just cover all the things that are wonderful, because a lot of YouTubers try and do the glory thing where it says, oh, I bought 10 of these and they made loads of money, and isn't Lego investing great? But with that, you've got to do the negative side of things, because it's not all positive. So,
like my last video when I did that brick fest, I thought, well, do I put it up there because no one loves it? I thought, no, it's my honest opinion. And and it's amazing that people come out of the woodwork and say, yeah, I didn't like it. And so there is both sides.
Of course there is.
You can't always love Lego, everything they bring out and everything they do.
No. I mean, and I will quite often say sometimes with the Lego sets is, you know, I'll buy a Lego set, you know, that's not very good, and or whatever, and. There's some, I'd say, some sets and some things that I don't buy. Maybe I should do more of that, sets that I don't like. I did a jokey video a year or so ago with like rubbish sets for under like £10 or something, and made a joke about it. But there are some terrible sets out there even now, but they're not aimed at me. You know, you get a 4+ friend set. Of course, that's not going to be aimed at me, but of course I'm going to think it's probably rubbish because it's all these big blocky bits and stuff like that. But
it's good to have both sides. I feel with maybe the YouTube Lego world, it's all too pro love of Lego.
It can be,
you tell everything like, and I'm thinking, not this. I was watching some certain channels where they were like queuing up for an hour and got a polybag and they were happy for it. I'm like, oh my god, I would be annoyed, and because it was Lego, it's amazing, and I'm thinking, well, are you really happy with it, or are you just doing it because people like
I'm normally fairly positive with Lego and going into Lego stores and things like that as well, because you know, you've got staff that work there. One thing I'm quite negative about, which I get called out on, is my dislike of Argos and how they deal with their boxes. And I know there's someone on my channel that does work for Argos, and I'm aware of that, and it's not particularly that I'm getting at the people that work at Argos, because I know working retail is very, very tough. I used to work at waiting tables and things like that, so I've worked in that kind of sector before, and it's very hard work and can be very unforgiving. But it's more to do with the fact that it's just annoying that if I buy something from Argos, that more often than not you're going to get something that's damaged, and it's just the whole thing of having to send it back. For me, I'm not somebody that takes things back to shops. Quite often I'll buy something, if it's clothes or something, if I don't like it, I tend not to bother taking it because I can't be bothered, basically. But with Argos it just becomes a chore, because you're then having to take stuff back. And look, I'm aware that there are people that sort of call me out and say, oh well, why do you even bother trying buying things from Argos if you're going to moan about it again? Well, I shouldn't have to moan about it. I should be able to get a box that's not got a great big hole in the box of it, you know, and you've got to take it back. It was that time I was in Southampton Argos store, and I bought quite a few sets, and the one with a big hole in it they put at the bottom of the pile, and I hadn't noticed it until I got home. And then you've got to then go back to the Argos store, and it all takes time and effort and costs money as well. You've got to drive back to the store, and so that's kind of it. So yeah, I'm aware that sometimes some of my comments, people don't like them. You know, I'm hopefully never nasty about things.
But the thing, you're just being honest. And back in the old days, they stopped doing that. They used to do 3 for 2. Do you remember Argos?
Yes.
I love that. You go in there, you get the cheapest one free.
Yes.
But back then, you'd always only have like 1 or 2 of the high price ones. Do you remember that? So
yes.
You think, to get £300 ones.
Yes.
And then obviously I've only got £200 to pay, and you'd be going, right, we've only got one of them in there.
Yeah, it would never work.
Always limited stock, and then when you get it, it was dented.
Sneaky.
The stickers was.
The stickers are better now. The stickers used to be awful. You couldn't get them off. And again, even now with some supermarkets, I don't do a lot of supermarket shopping at places like Sainsbury or even Tesco, because they either put those tags around the boxes which mark the boxes, or they put these great big stickers on that you just can't take. I know people say use a hairdryer. I don't have a hairdryer. I don't have any hair to dry. So, it is quite funny. But yeah, a lot of them, it is quite time consuming, and to take those stickers off, and that's,
I'm going to call this, we're going to have a moan with Ian.
Ian's moan. Let's have a moan about things that Ian doesn't like. I could go on for hours. Don't get me started.
I see your videos. You always do videos when you go into the Lego store.
Yes.
Right. But I've never seen you buy from a pick a brick wall. Why?
I have bought from Pick a Brick Walls, but the thing is I don't do a lot of Lego building.
Right, okay.
I did a couple of years ago try and do Iain's mini Lego city with modular buildings, and I did a few videos back in the day where I was buying actually a bit on Pick a Brick Wall, but again it was just more the time effort. I just don't have a lot of time with working 9 to 5 and doing all the other videos and unboxings I want to do. You then run out of time to do maybe a Lego city. And I did start it, it maybe wasn't as popular, and it just sort of fizzled out really. And
is it something you would like to do?
I would love to have a Lego. I would love to have the room and the space to do a nice big Lego city, but also it's just it's the time.
Would it be all mocks from yourself, or would it be? Like
I'm the kind of person that would probably stick to the sets.
So you'd have the whole land. From
I
would
do a few mocks, but yeah, I'm the kind of person that will like to follow the actual instructions and build the actual set in the exact way that you would build something from the instructions. I'm very much of an instructions person, rather than somebody that will have a pile of Lego bricks and build something fantastic out. Because I'd start building something, and I'd change my mind, and then just give me the instructions. It's a lot easier. So I think if I did have a city, it would be all of the proper sets, as it were. Okay. I know that's really boring, but
we got to know the Iain.
Yeah.
So you deal in sets. Why don't you deal in minifigures?
I find them quite time consuming. I also think there are other people that probably do it better than me. And also I think when you're at a lot of these brick fairs and things, they can be quite fiddly. One minifigure, and you've got and I know you can have a lot more stock, and they take up very little space. I get that, but I've never really been massively into specific minifigures myself. Now I've kind of had a look at your wall, and I love a lot of the minifigures. They're great, but yeah, I don't know really. I was never really into figures or figurines even as a kid. When I was growing up in the 80s, there were Star Wars figures like He-Man stuff, and I never had that kind of stuff as a kid. I was very much into the sets,
okay, and
the actual complete sets and things like that. And I think it's just gone from there. And yeah, I know collecting sets and investing in Lego sets is you've got to have the space to be able to do that. And I think that's why a lot of people go to minifigures, is because they're smaller and easier to manage and keep and things like that. It's not that I don't like minifigures. I do like the minifigures, but didn't really get into it. And I think now, I suppose I could get into it now. But I think there's a lot of other people that do it better than I do, and have already got the collections. And
you see that, like, now you do more polybags than I think.
Yeah.
You is that because you get them better now, or you can get hold of them easier?
Yeah, I can. I like polybags. They're just a little bit of extra to have, and I think a lot of these brick fairs, it's all right having all the big high price stuff, but it's also nice to have some smaller stuff as well. And polybags I think there's some interesting polybags out there. Some of them you get free from Lego, which you obviously sell on. I buy some of them from online myself and sell them on for a small amount of profit. So I've always quite liked polybags. I think they have some unusual figures and sets and little builds in there. None of them are going to be amazing, because obviously you're not going to get many parts in a polybag. But I think they're just nice things to have, and they're quite easy to sort of sell and display. Yeah. I think most of my fairs I've always either had a box on the front of my table with figures to sort through. More recently I've gone away from that, and I've actually started pinning up and just taking a range of a few polybags, which it's a little bit easier to sort of sell them like that. But yeah, it's just nice to have a mix. I don't just want to have a stall where I've got expensive Lego. I want to have some cheaper stuff as well, because there's always going to be families that come along with kids and want something cheap.
Exactly.
And
as we're talking about money and all that, so let's ask, what was your biggest loss?
Give it to them, give it to them.